We'll be starting with the session in a while. In a 5 minutes time span, I request everybody to settle down and get ready for the amazing session. Thank you. Good afternoon and a very warm welcome to the next session of Innovate Talks. The topic of this session is automating end-to-end customer life cycle with AI. To share the insights on this topic, we have Mr. Mrugesh Soni. Mrugesh Soni is a transformation evangelist and strategy leader specializing in designing generative AI. And if you also want to specialize in it, then just let's get started with our session. For this, I would like to call upon Sir Mrugesh on the stage. Let's give him a big round of applause. Welcome, sir, on the stage. The stage is all yours, sir.
Thank you all for being here. How many of you sleepy after lunch or not had lunch yet? Okay, for all of you who are here, the next 15-20 minutes we'll try and understand basics of what for a lot of you agentic AI or AI essentially means. Would any of you want to volunteer what in your opinion is the AI in 2025 in your business? If you could implement AI any in one area in your business, आप क्या करना चाहते हैं इसके साथ? Sure. Okay. What in chatbots? Presentation, right? Okay, good. What else? Yeah. Sure. Awesome. And? Content.
It may help to create a brand
Got it.
using the AI.
Very good, sir. Any other questions? Anything that you're expecting from the session, I'll address that very focusedly in this case. That's by default. Anything that you do, पैसा नहीं बने तो उसका point नहीं. Logistics. Yes, sure. It can be done. Great. I think we have enough inputs. I think across the life cycle, a lot of you have given insights. So we had an input to say, how do I create a brand? Which basically means content coming into play. Somebody else asked who and how can I connect the sales life cycle. That is what we'll also cover. We'll also cover the supply chain ecosystem of how that comes into play. And most importantly, can this happen on a chatbot, like how Sir said? Now, essentially in simpler words, right? And I'm going to set some reality for all of you. I have been working in AI since the last 3 years. We've built almost about close to 2,000 plus bots, and these are for brands like Indigos and Make My Trips, and the largest ones are around Nestle's and Mondelez. Now we understand that at a super enterprise level, like them, who have millions of data that they are running on, and a B2B or an SMB level, the differences are very vast. Now, at an enterprise level, how your data flows in is quite seamless from the source of input and touch and website, etc. and so on. But an SMB level, your data is flowing in from your WhatsApp. Now, सबको WhatsApp bot तो मालूम ही है on how essentially it works. But from that WhatsApp bot, if you are using a business enterprise ecosystem, a business enterprise ecosystem is a WhatsApp for business ecosystem. That is integrated and connected to at least 5 parameters of the digital world. The digital world, for simpler reasons, just to give clarity and you all understand it, I know, is the whole Google ecosystem of your Chromes and your maps and your search and your ads. The Insta ecosystem that also runs across all the 6 parameters of the reels, the posts, the stories, and then that gets connected back to your IDs that you essentially have. Then there is an Apple ecosystem that basically is deep connected with, if you have devices, Apple is slightly more restricted compared to these other two ecosystems per se. A holistic life cycle is only possible when these dots are connected. It is simpler said and done, but in the life cycle of a specific customer, right, what you are going to try and achieve is, can you connect 3 simple things first? One is, when the customer is coming in, can he see what he wants or she wants, right? Can you basically not have fragmented conversations between your sales, your store, the person handling your phone calls, and your own device? Because in most cases, you are the bottleneck. Information is with you. आपने बात किया किसी के साथ कॉल पे, आपने information किसी को बोला, by the time it reaches back the ecosystem, there is a leakage that essentially comes into play. By default, anything in a inbound and outbound ecosystem can be automated in 2025. And when I say automated, is not that an answering machine, right? Which is, what do you want? I'll answer. That is the most easiest thing. You can switch on ChatGPT somewhere, it'll do that for you. Take one connection from any one SaaS provider. The important thing for you to do is to decide what's your customer's life cycle. So when you go back after this show, what you have to do as an exercise with your teams is draw out your customer's life cycle. You will have some premier customers, 6, 7, 5, 20, 50, depending on whether you do B2B or B2C. Then you will have like a P1, P2, P3 list, right? A P1 life cycle is with you. You are connected to that customer directly on a phone call when he calls or she calls you to discuss anything. Then there is a P2 customer list to whom you send out brochures, creatives, emails, or anything else to bring it in. P3 is somebody who calls you in most cases. You really don't care too much about them because they are not your 60 to 80% of your revenue. But they are still the customers who can move from P3 to P2 to P1. The first thing to automate anything, like they say, you put a blueprint for your home or your factory or anything else, right? Put that blueprint, and in this case, the blueprint is the customer's life cycle. Typically, what happens? What are the 8 stages of conversation that your customer is doing with you? How many times a year is that customer doing this with you? And at every stage, what is happening? Anybody aware of RPA here by any chance? Robotic Process Automation? Okay, I'll explain in simpler terms. When the call centers came to India, right? The thing was, in your Excel, there's a macro that runs. You can give it a code and say, ye karna hai is samay. It's a simple task that you do. This evolved into much more evolved ecosystems where robotic process automation is something that records your screen on your laptop or on your phone to understand what you do. So companies like Blue Prism, UiPath, your automation anywhere, just search up RPA, you'll know, have something called as a desktop virtualization tool. It basically runs on your device, understands every time a mouse pointer goes somewhere, opens Gmail, opens a website, and learns your patterns. And once it learns your patterns, it knows this is what you do every day. And that is what it replicates. It is nothing just like an assembly line. Like how you set up an assembly line, you see this is the process flow. Now this RPA is a non-decision making device. You tell it do this, it will do this. If it gets stuck, it doesn't have the capability to resolve it. Now this same robot essentially has the power to reason. If a customer calls you back and says, I'm busy right now, I can't call you back, typically the bot would have kept the phone down or would have said, okay, thank you so much. In the newer scenarios, the bot will essentially ask you, sir, aap kab free hai? When do you think I can call you back? If they says, no, I don't think I need your services. Sir, I would still insist that you talk to us to know what is that we can do for you rather than, and I'm sure you won't be disappointed. It will be worth your weight. Now this line, it will be worth your weight, is reasoning power. Now, bots or any AI is as good as the human who creates it. Bots are nothing but scripts, or AI is nothing but a script. So when you decide in your business, this is your personality, this is the way you talk, this is the way your sales team has to talk, this is the way your customer support has to talk, each of those stages which I told you that you have to write down, right? You will have to input all the reasoning's power that you will need to give it if this journey breaks. 80 to 90% of the time, you will never have a happy journey. It's not a seamless, tuck, 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 nahi jayega wo. It will break. That is why you follow up. That is why sales exists. Now, whether you do sales, whether you do creatives, whether you do support, there are these stages that need to be decided. So, in simpler words, if I am making a brand creative with AI, you have to tell the bot that my visualization needs to look like this. It needs to look bright. It needs to have diyas or ornaments or lights at some level. It has to be of this color. It has to basically have this tonality to it. And it will make it. Otherwise, you have to keep doing rip and refresh. Same thing in the supply chain, FNC, if you put down, these are your 10 cycles. Your job starts like how you made a CV or if any of you made that, since most of you may be in business, you may not know that. The whole approach of how your prompt is written will decide how the journey gets automated. See, these are the ultra basics of AI. AI is nothing but one page of your life cycle of that customer in which you write down to say, if the customer doesn't respond at ABCD, this is what you do. If the customer doesn't respond at CDEF, this is what you do. Now, this is the basics of how this is to be built. Now, moving forward towards how do you drive this, right? The very first thing is the awareness, which is personalization from where the customer comes in. Now, 60 to 70% of your customers may be coming in from relationships, or they know you, or they basically understand you. But there are also customers who are Googling you. And in the newer scenarios, they are GPTing you. I don't know how many of you know, but you have to start now also registering your businesses with OpenAI if you want to be found there. Because Gen Zs are moving away from Google search to OpenAI search. So are you basically present there? If somebody finds, I want to find X ornament maker in Surat, where do you come in that list? Because OpenAI will come in and give you that. But do you feature? Like how you had the page 1, page 2, page 3 of Google, in OpenAI also you only will have the 3 or 4 top searches. And now there is perplexity, and then there will be more, and Google will come back with something else. So your business unfortunately doesn't have to just be visible at the main pages. You'll have to go on to the visibility on AI. Now, for all of you who are maybe higher than 40 here in this room, this may be a very different task per se. For you to understand how do you list, how do you get that moving. But it is not an option. This year you will pass by, festive season will complete. Next year, by mid-year, you will still be okay because things will not change. But by the mid of next year, you will see all the 3, I don't know how many of you saw the news yesterday, Mr. Zuckerberg is hiring everybody who built an OpenAI ecosystem to build his servers in. Which means that on your WhatsApp status, right, your ad can be placed even right now on the WhatsApp status. So for example, you put a fancy picture of one jewelry unit or whatever at the WhatsApp status of your WhatsApp account. The moment somebody clicks on that, you'll actually get to know. So that is how surfaces of touch points are changing. So which is where your whole awareness has to get set up. Now again, you don't need to change everything, which is why I said go back and see your life cycle. Where is your customer finding you? It's a very simple question, you know the answer. But decide, do you want to get the newer customer in? Then that is what has to change. The second is your consideration. This is fairly simple, but instead of basically saying, this is my catalog and this is my product, you will need to start putting recommendation engines. See, humans don't like one option. They like 3 options so that they can reject 2. So, till you do not make it that way, you should never give one recommendation. Now, this again, that 1-page document I told you, right? That is what you need to write down to say, कौन से 3 recommendation देना है और उसमें कौन सा बुरा वाला देना है और कौन सा अच्छा वाला देना है, so that you can move forward. Think always about the life cycle as a destiny line. वो कहाँ पे अटकेगी? Decide how you want to move forward. The third is intent. None of you can judge कि वो खरीद के जाएगा या नहीं जाएगा, right? There are some signals in most cases, but in 70% you are blind. Now imagine all the surfaces you are. Think about it like a ecosystem, saying that in this whole environment or this convention hall, you must have got more than 80, 90, 100 visitors. How many do you know will come back to you on August 5th when the show is over? You should be able to capture intent. Intent capture on technology is very simple. You typically have 3-4 scoping questions, right? आप कैसे पूछते हो सर कस्टमर को ऑन द फेस, राइट? आप नहीं बोलते सर कब खरीदोगे, और सर क्या लग रहा है आपको, ठीक लग रहा है आपको प्रोडक्ट, आप पे बहुत जचेगा या आपके बिजनेस के लिए अच्छे से चलेगा, ये मार्केट में फर्स्ट क्लास चल रहा है सर एट दिस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम, एंड वॉट एवर योर सेल्स पिचेस. Again that 1-page document. Your sales pitch has to be written down and fed to that bot, because it will then understand on how it has to talk. Because your AI bot is your personality. It is your reflection. If your brand business says मैं discount नहीं देता, you have to tell the bot discount मत देना. या if your business says discount देना लेकिन पहले double rate बताना, so you can tell that. So you have to, like, you train your second generation, third generation, ऐसे बात करना है, ऐसे धंधा करना है, ऐसे बोलना है, ये नहीं बोलना है. These are all the inputs that page has to get inputted. This then changes into your next thing, which is your nudges. Now, how do you follow through? You'll typically pick up the phone and say, right, sir, weather कैसा चल रहा है और घर पे सब ठीक ठाक. That is a nudge. It's a soft conversation trigger. Same life cycle. How do you input that basic sentence in? What is your opening conversation to the user? If you say Jai Shri Krishna as the first thing, you should put that in the bot. It is the way your business is what the consumer will understand. And it will reflect. नहीं तो वो bot लगेगा. See, the differentiation between an AI and human AI is how you train it. कैसे बोलते हैं, राइट? घर पे सर आपका बेटा आपके जैसा ही है या आपकी बेटी आपकी मम्मी की तरह ही बात करती है. दैट इज वॉट यू वॉन्ट द बॉट टू डू. इट इज योर न्यू बेटा और न्यू बेटी एट दैट लेवल. देन यू हैव टू फिगर आउट योर चेज. अभी मिडिल फनल तक आ गए हो, क्लोजर पे लाना है, तो व्हाट डू यू डू टू चेंज इट आउट? नाउ योर डिस्काउंटिंग टेक्निक्स, योर ऑफर्स आर गोइंग टू बी वेरी डिफरेंट. हाउ डू यू डू दैट इज व्हाट दैट कम्स इन नेक्स्ट. एंड फाइनली व्हेन द परचेज कम्स इन, आई हैव एडेड a little bit of B2C also. In B2C, what happens is, for a woman who is coming and trying your jewelry, if you're in the consumer business, they will put it on and try and check. The shopper is 60 to 70% online today, and online at 11 o'clock in the night. After they have scouted through everything, they will come and look at your product in the store if they want to. Now, when they are looking at your product, why can't they try on your product? Virtual try-on is available from almost all hyperscalers today. It's an API. You plug it in, it will start working if you want to get that going. but then it has to be trained on the top 3 or 4 products that you want, and at when do you want it, which basically means your new catalog is not printed. Your new catalog is like a CAD model. When your manufacturing happens, that CAD model you have can be fed into AI to create an AI model of the same product, which is not static, it is in 3D. I'll show you a picture of how that looks. Catalog creation will have to change so that it can be connected and made live, that can be plugged into all sources of touch points. This moves on into what could basically be your change per se, right? So if you basically spoke about, let's say, automation with precision, the one solution that you do is first get data in. Now, what is your blueprint of your entire life cycle can only start if you have data. How will you create who is your top customer? You will go into your balance sheet and understand किससे सबसे ज़्यादा धंधा आया है. वो मेल है, फीमेल है. If you want to go into consumer business, if it is a B2B business, you will basically break it down into the top 15, 20 people. But then when did they buy, what did they buy, cannot be just pulled from a CRM. If you have a CRM, great. But if you don't have a CRM, at least put that together. Now, some of the things that change here is your data management should not also be done by you. If you use Tally, or if you use SAP, or if you use any kind of billing software, right? Almost any software, just like a phone today, has to give you an AI connector. Okay, an AI connector is like a USB-C plug. It should allow you to read the data. Data is nothing but tables, metadata, structures, right? Humanly, you will study the data like some, for 2-3 घंटा आप देखोगे, फिर थक जाओगे, फिर बोलोगे आज नहीं हो सकता. Data mining can also be done by AI. Now here, like I said 3 things, right? You find your P1, P2, P3 customer. Maybe for you it's a different goal. So you tell that AI bot, आपको मेरे CRM में से जाके, मेरे billing sheet में से जाके, forget anybody else. If you don't do business on book, on any e-applications, you do it on a book also, no, it's possible. Don't do book businesses, it is not safe in India anymore. But you can take pictures of your khata book, upload it into this devices, get it to create a chart for you. Try this, it is magic. You will not realize what you have been missing. If you upload your entire data for the last 3 years and tell AI, what is the discrepancy you can find here? Which is the customer I should target back here? What do you think I should and who should I retarget again? Ask AI to generate its own intelligence from your data, which you will typically show it to some CA, right? आपका CA आपको नहीं बताएगा कि आपको किस customer को बेचना है, लेकिन आपको AI बताएगा. Your AI is your new advisor, but then you will have to give it the feed system. For any of you who are there on ChatGPT, and if you have not tried it till now, most of them have, ask it what it understands about you. Every time you ask it, it creates a record. AI creates and stores 1 million data points about you inside its servers. So when you go back and say कि तुमको मेरे बारे में क्या मालूम है, उतना ही पूछना. It will give you the whole history कि उसको आपके बारे में क्या मालूम है, मेरे को क्या करना चाहिए next. Psychological advice also it will give you. And if you go on to the paid versions, it can store 10 million records as well. In fact, for a lot of businesses, the AI in new age startups is connected on a Teams interface. So in simpler words, what happens is all of us, if you are running, let's say a business of 20, 30 people, you have a intercommunication channel, right? Now this intercommunication channel does not need to be on WhatsApp. If you take it on Teams, for example, right? Or Microsoft Teams has a feature. Any search on AI that you do can happen through Teams. So the CEO can basically then go back and say what's happening in my company. And that AI will give you a complete summary of the engagements. You don't need to log into a Salesforce, you don't need to log into a CRM, you don't need to log into your accounting systems, and you can ask that. But data has to be in that synergized format. So it will basically refine it, it will basically transform insights into personalized recommendations, and then it will basically get into value, trust, and what you should be doing in. So in simpler words, if you're basically automating the CX per se, you'll have to break down the journeys, like we said, into these 4 critical standpoints and decide where you want to unlock the power. Now, you'll have to decide in your own words. Don't try and boil the ocean. See, AI is not a switch. चालू करोगे चालू नहीं होगा. 1.5 साल का जर्नी है. You will start with something as basic as खुद का डेटा किधर है वो निकाल के दिखाओ. In fact, if you can very simply do this, right? Plug your WhatsApp into a WhatsApp web, download contacts, okay? Get that much going, dump that AI list into a OpenAI system if you want to, or wherever else you're comfortable, and say, create a structure and segregation of this entire data set for me in a table format, differentiating by surnames. If you have anything else about that information, you have stored their business name, it'll at least create a transactionable sheet for you. This can then be further used to even start. This is your basic starting point. Once you complete this, you will then have to start enriching your customers' profiles. Nobody likes direct business talk. Everybody loves, क्या हाल चल रहा है सर? सबको उनके बर्थडे पे विश करने का सबको अच्छा लगता है. Same with anniversaries. If you're in the B2C businesses, these are your top touch points. If you basically know their personality and behavior, you will be able to target them much better comparatively. Now, behavior management can also be assessed by a WhatsApp chat. Top customer, take his WhatsApp chat screenshot, upload. Decide and ask WhatsApp or AI, how should I address this customer next? It will be able to give you that. I'm giving you this manual example. Imagine if you do this on a WhatsApp business ecosystem or you do it on an email ecosystem, you will just have to tell your system to go and find that out. You don't know how to crack the customer, this is one way to do that. Obviously, purchase history is a good scenario and trend. Now, you took his behavior from WhatsApp, you took your balance sheet and understood कि वो उसने कब कब खरीदा है. You took the kind of products that he has to sell. Now you tell AI, create the best pitch for me that I should use to sell to this customer. It's 4 steps, but it starts with data, goes into your personality on AI, and then goes into what product you want to try and sell. When you combine first party signals, the festive state of mind, ये साल गोल्ड का रेट ज़्यादा है, मार्केट ठंडा है, नहीं खरीद रहे हैं, कौन खरीद रहा है, कहाँ खरीद रहा है, केरला में खरीद रहा है, तमिलनाडु में खरीद रहा है, कि नॉर्थ में खरीद रहे हैं. You decide basis insight and signals on that, and customize communication to every user that you essentially want to. Think about it that I'll give you a very small shortcut of sorts. A lot of us believe in possibly sun signs and kundalis and shubh and ashubh, right, at some level. I'm assuming so. For whoever who does, by default, if you know your customer's name, date of birth, and some insight, you have 4 parameters to target them back. आप दोस्तों के साथ जब बैठते हो खाने पे, ड्रिंक पे या whatever else, you remember that one insight of the customer. यार उसने एक चीज अच्छी बोली. That is the only attention grabbing factor that you have. Attention इसी से मिलता है, right? आपका कस्टमर भी आपके साथ इस अटेंशन के पॉइंट से ही क्लिक करेगा. यू आर इन द बिजनेस ऑफ क्लिक्स. उसने आपका व्हाट्सएप खोला या नहीं खोला, वो बोलेगा अरे यार वो वही पुराना मेरे को कुछ भेजेगा, वही पुराना कैटलॉग भेज देगा या कुछ और ऑफर भेज देगा. Why should the customer click on that? If it is not personal, it is useless. And in today's day, if you don't personalize it, when you have more than एक इंसान के बारे में, about a person, right? If you just Google, you will get at least 25 data points. How are you hyper personalizing your communication? When was the last time you called your top 10 customers or top 100 and did one customized engagement with them? For all of you who follow, for example, Ferns and Petals, right? If you have ordered any time from them, the next touch point is कि आपके birthday का time आ रहा है, this is what you can do. For the consumer brands, they basically tell you कि birthday month में इसका discount है. You should treat that very importantly. At least, if not anything else, the customer will think you care. यार इसने मेरे बारे में इतना सोचा. is a very important brand building exercise. Your business is only as good as your brand. जो one wrong input anywhere else or one wrong move from your sales guy, your things are going to go down. But then if you want to create your brand, because the only way business is done or closed is when the phone gets answered. For him or her to answer your phone, that important touch point is needed. Now, if you move into a sample enrichment, right, and now I'm going to move into a little bit consumer insights. Typically, for consumers, you have to figure out a way to do enrichment, year-round targeting, and do a loyalty and retention with segmentation. Now, this is where true AI comes in. If you know those 20 touch points of your customer, you should not be picking up the phone. Your email engine, WhatsApp engine, Instagram engine should run on its own. Start with maybe one and then decide on where are the other elements that you will take forward to. This is, for example, a sample campaign design. Maybe if you're doing it on WhatsApp for consumers, you'll say you've been invited to unlock the festive vault. See, understand how copy is written. And this obviously, now with AI, you can change copy. If you decide to say to a certain customer type and you have an offer running for Dhanteras, why should your Dhanteras offer be written by a human in English script or Hindi script and then plastered all across the same thing? Every script that you write has to be personalized and vernacular for that customer, depending on what he prefers. Where you need to know the customer's preferred language as well. Now, if you, for a consumer, if you basically understand these 4 data points, this is actually 3 into 3 into 2 more. The next touch point and the nudge can be hyper personalized based on the insight that you're essentially getting. Now, for example, if you do a Diwali Dhamaka, it's a simple B2B campaign that you want to run for your customers. You may have much better words. We've just used some example in this case and scenario. The campaign note will essentially be the Diwali Dhamaka draw, a festive campaign for your cherished jewelry retailers. All you have to do is answer a few fun, simple questions about your store, and in return you'll unlock draw entries. Lucky draw is the most old school methodology of even targeting, right? But if you break it down towards a script that says, Namaste, this Diwali, blah, 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 blah. See that sentence, try my luck, is your game changer. Try your luck, unlock X, ready to experience. These keywords at least get you a click when you're doing mass amplification. Personal customers, you can essentially even look at doing what you want to do. Now here, depending on who you're targeting. Now, for example, all of you must have made at least 50 new connections in this event. How will you all target them? You will all pick up the phone, sir, आपसे मैं मिला था वो IIJS प्रीमियर में, सर हमारा ये कैटलॉग है, मैंने आपको व्हाट्सएप किया, आप देख लो, और whatever the one ecosystem, right? Why should that not go into this ecosystem? How different will your communication be compared to all the other 2,000 people who may be trying to reach the same guy? Everybody will get at least 200 messages after this event, minimum, right? How will yours stand out? So you need to figure out what are you writing and making it personal. And the moment that customer thinks, just think about it, that customer you're trying to ask, sir, we run our business with AI. आपका ऑलरेडी एक औदा ऊपर हो गया उसके लिए कि आप AI फर्स्ट हो, तो आप बाकी सब में भी you must be showing more quality or whatever else your need is. It's like saying आप आंख बंद करके जापानीज ब्रांड खरीद लेते हो, क्योंकि जापानीज ब्रांड कुछ तो किसी ने अच्छा किया होगा उसके अंदर. आज की डेट में this AI is this new Japanese brand at some level as a sticker. It works in 2025, 2026 में सबके पास होगा. So decide what you are doing in that case. Now, on this, if you are trying to target consumers per se, please understand consumers are very different. Consumer of your B2B retail is also very different. If that jeweler's son is the new buyer of your business, you can't talk to him in the same language that you spoke to his father. वो नहीं समझेगा, वो बोलेगा कि it's how does it work. जितना भी आप genealogy भी change कर लोगे, the lady or the guy will essentially have a very different way of understanding things. You will have to tune it for them. So if you're selling to a Gen Z who is basically trendy, aesthetic driven, celebrates XYZ, prefers blah blah blah, that is their budget. Look at this from a consumer lens actually. To a Gen X who's a family gifter, who celebrates these engagements, their budget is X. To a B2B retailer who basically is a tier 1 retailer, he has X margin and marketing focused, he celebrates only all of these elements. Your content has to be personalized that way. Now, when you move into shaping opportunities with personalized offers, how does this happen, right? Now, AI agents, so I will all give you all one challenge and you challenge yourself in 2025. If you can use a phone, no, you can make your AI agent. Go and write in a piece of paper who you are. मैं ऐसा इंसान हूं, मैं ऐसे सोचता हूं, मैं ऐसे बेचता हूं, मैं इस तरीके से लोग मेरे साथ बात करते हैं. This is the reason my customers come to me. Create that personality and create your own AI agent. Now you have the foundation for yourself. On that foundation, now decide, is this agent going to be your support, your sales, your brand, or your supply chain manager at some level? And then break it down towards the approaches you want him to take in. Now, for example, if you wanted to automate a bridal jewelry life cycle, right? You will, let's say, take one character like Ananya, who is a who is basically going to get married, and you're not selling jewelry, you're curating her journey from now till the wedding and beyond. Here's a pure consumer structure. You have to understand 3 things about her. It's a bridal life cycle, she's Gen Z, and she wants an engagement ring. How will her journey essentially begin? Basis her need, the AI agent steps in to enhance her purchase journey per se. Now, I'll give you an example of how an agent looks. So you've created a small character. You can create avatars in literally for about 20,000 rupees or 10,000 rupees also, who can speak your brand's language. Now your avatar, depending on who you are targeting, will be very different. If you're giving your age inside the bot or the website or wherever else, she can speak that language. So, sorry, इसका वीडियो एक बीच में, just check. Okay, yeah, it's here.
नमस्ते, मैं हूँ हीरा, आपकी पर्सनल ज्वेलरी एडवाइजर। अगर आप एंगेजमेंट के लिए एक परफेक्ट सॉलिटेयर रिंग ढूंढ रहे हैं, तो आप बिल्कुल सही जगह आए हैं। आपकी पसंद, बजट और स्टाइल के हिसाब से मैं आपको कुछ शानदार ऑप्शंस दिखा सकती हूँ। चलिए शुरुआत करते हैं एक ऐसे रिंग के साथ जो सिर्फ खूबसूरत ही नहीं, बल्कि आपकी कहानी भी कहती हो।
Now this can be hyper personalized with language. She can bend on say Jai Shri Krishna, Kem Cho, Badu Majama, or she can basically speak in Tamil or Malayalam or whatever language you want. And every video will cost you 2 rupees. But imagine the impact she will create. Now, what did I tell you in the beginning? Create your avatar. That homework I gave you, right? That homework needs to go into this character. And then you ask your son and your daughter, okay, when we are wanting to target the Gen Zs, what should I write? Because you will not be able to write it. Then you change the languages towards the way you want. And then you make AI to say, depending on the 3 inputs that the customer gives me, आप किसके लिए आए हो? आपको कौन सी भाषा preferred है? And is there something specific you are looking for? With these 3 inputs, you will be able to create an AI video like this in real time, which means the AI agent is plugged into your surface. Surface is Instagram, WhatsApp, website, in fact even RCS on the SMS engines that you are there, right? And it will basically start talking back to you. This is nothing but a chat bot now with a face and an avatar, and it can respond to you. Better stickiness, better engagement, better reactions. See, the thing is, people still are not used to avatars. This will also in 1.5 years die down. But till it has this peak period, you will say, मैं जवाब देके देखता हूँ क्या बोलेगी. Humans are very egoistic. मैं तुमसे ज़्यादा जानता हूँ. And I will try to break the bot. That is the intention. कि क्या AI कुछ नहीं करेगा. चल बोल के देखता हूँ कुछ और पूछूंगा. उस कुछ और पूछने के चक्कर में आप उनसे 4 डेटा पॉइंट ले लोगे. So that is how avatars work. So your first investment, if you really want to do and put AI at your front face. Now imagine this avatar can be at a mall kiosk. It can basically be on the website sitting below. She can be the banner that you want. She can be on the tab that is present inside the store when when the customer is landing in. She can be on an Instagram post that you're basically putting out for your brand. She can be on that WhatsApp status to say talk to Hira to understand आपको क्या चाहिए. But if you don't train her, no, she will be like your worst salesperson because she will not do anything and somebody will come and say यार वो हीरा से बात कर कुछ मालूम ही नहीं था. तो होमवर्क इसलिए जरूरी है. Now when you move towards the campaign designs, now this is where creative AI comes in. So till here we spoke about AI agent, your avatar. Then we went into data collation. Now we went into your front ambassador. See, instead of your ambassadors and models that you use, right? You can use AI avatars. They are, if not equally, but as good looking as the model that you choose. And they come for much lesser price and there's no shoots required. And you can create multiples of them when you have a product ready. So when you basically get your product ready or your catalog ready, and you choose a Hira or Panna or anything else that you want, you can then create these kind of ads in real time. Now, to the consumer, if you have been able to track his journey on whichever source that they are coming in, Instagram, WhatsApp, website, source of emails, you know the intention. What is your action? Customer has given me input, I have to send an output. Why should you do it? Should make your agent do it. AI can read that email. It can understand what the customer wants. It has your catalog. It has an AI model. It can recreate the ad unit and send it back to the customer. It's like an automated answering machine, but with visuals, with content, and in your tonality. That is how real communication transformation happens. Now, basis this, and this was because we spoke about for Ananya, right? So for Ananya, this is what her ad will look like. So when Ananya logs into Instagram, her ad will not look like the same ad that everybody is seeing. Her ad will be for the jewelry ring only, just like how cookie retargeting works, right? आपने कुछ भी सर्च किया, मुंह से कुछ भी बोल भी दिया, तो आपका इंस्टाग्राम पे ऐड आ जाएगा. लेकिन वो इंस्टाग्राम ऐड जेनेरिक होता है. अभी इंस्टाग्राम ऐड पर्सनल हो सकता है. And this is now hyper personalizable into platforms like Swiggy, Uber, your Jio Hotstars, Amazon Primes. When you log into your Netflix, Amazon Primes, you see ads, no? Uber पे गाड़ी बुक किया तो ad नीचे दिखता है ना, रणबीर कपूर का, तस्वा का या किसी और का. That ad, depending on the user basis where they have seen you, can be personalized. So the era of Meta ads, Google ads, is now moving into an entire ecosystem of hyper personalized ads depending on which app is on your device. And this further will go on towards the message to the user. We know you're planning a big day, that you love timeless, elegant jewelry. Now you can do a virtual try-on your dream bridal pieces matched to your lehenga, face shape and personal style. Think about it. Every bride who is possibly the largest target audience, if I may say, in the jewelry industry in India, if you are able to know कि उसका शादी का लहंगा क्या है या what is she wearing, her picture and her face type, and what is her face type also, the hair that she's saying, you can have a product recommendation engine. I will rewind again. The important cycles, when I said automated life cycle, these are all stages. You can only reach this stage if your data, your catalog, your personality is in place. Once you reach this fourth stage, this is the fifth stage, that the message that goes back to her can be with basis all this information. Now you can send a picture of yourself, and with that picture, it will essentially get her to try out the entire look and the outfit that she wants that will suit her lehenga. You don't even need that entire information. If she only says, my lehenga is black and green, or gold and silver, or red and whatever pastels, it will create an input basis that. And then thinking on that elegant try that you tried on, your short little pieces are waiting, and one of them might be the one for your big day. Let's help you decide before they go out of stock. Click here to view a perfect match is one more click away. And then you put an unlock reward. This is basically what your sales guy is going to say in case you're in a consumer business. But this is what AI has to write. See, you can't write copy. Personality again comes back. How do you chase the customer? This has to be automated. This then moves on to, let's say, a 50-year-old mother who is basically the most influential in this case. For her festive life cycle, she is a Gen X at some level, and she's a traditional choice taker, temple jewelry and everything else that comes into play. For her, the script will be, okay, Karwa Chauth is near, and we know how beautifully you celebrate tradition with your family. This time we've curated a selection of timeless gold sets. Browse my festive picks. Now imagine this happening in Hindi, Tamil, and the languages that they prefer. And the set you've been shortlisted is still waiting. We know your choice, a thought from the piece you pick carries meaning. If you saw the previous script and this script, words matter towards how the customer reacts to your content and clicks on your content again. Why do you click on a Zomato ad, right? Because it's nice and interesting. You have to build your brand accordingly so that the customer clicks on your content. If your content is not personal, it doesn't move forward. And from here, let's go to the B2B paradigms, right? So in this, let's say a retailer who is wanting to push out Diwali inventory and is a stock planner in a tier 1 city. For him, you have 2 lakh jewelers in India, 365 days a year, 50 संडे हैं, 300 दिन बचते हैं. अगर आपको 2 लाख लोगों को टारगेट करना है, कहीं से आपने डेटाबेस निकाल लिया, आपको 500 लोग लगाने पड़ेंगे दिन के 30 कॉल करने के लिए, वो पूरा डेटाबेस टच करने के लिए. But with agents and trained on your ecosystem and your personality and your catalog, it will basically be able to touch each of these ecosystems and run an automated sales life cycle for you. It is impossible to do it without all this. People may take shortcuts and do, मैं सबको एक voice blast कर देता हूँ, मैं सबको WhatsApp blast कर देता हूँ. कितने लोग देखेंगे? WhatsApp open rates itself are about 1%, 2% यार. If your content is not right, people don't give you value. बिकता क्या है? बिकता इंसान है. ज्वेलरी नहीं बिकती है. वो इंसान, उसका कैटेगरी एंड हिज और हर क्वालिटी ऑफ वर्क दैट यू डू is what people remember you by. Personalities are remembered. And your personality has to reflect in your brand and has to reflect in your AI. So that then becomes your IP at some level. And that when you essentially do is when you can drive these spikes. So conversations are your new sales counters. And you need to look at 4 agents to start with and you decide which is your priority. आप बहुत ज़्यादा क्रिएटिव बनाते हो, आप B2C businesses में हो या D2C businesses में हो, तो creative agent works for you. So that it can churn out creatives to you immediately. If you think you have a lot of customers, you have a lot of data, then get an insights agent first. Choose that as your first priority. If you think you need to make a lot of phone calls, your customers are not reverting back, you're not getting responses, then get an engagement agent. And if you can combine your entire personality, then bring in your sales agent. Don't bring and make your sales agent first. He will fail. The problem that people do is, if you bring a new sales guy in your दुकान, right? आप उसको पहले दिन पे मेरे को तो 5 लाख का सेल करके दे, कैसे करेगा? AI का एजेंट भी वैसा ही है. सिखाओगे नहीं, बताओगे नहीं, दिखाओगे नहीं, तो क्या बेचेगा? So that's what you should decide. And in this, we are giving you just an example of how AI avatars look, right? So we made something for one of the brands. It's called Astro Yogi. For some of you who must have seen this. Depending on what you are and where your signs are, etc. and so on, this is an engagement strategy. It's just an example that bases your need and sunshine. This is what your need could be. And your AI agent can actually converse with you something like this. कि प्रणाम, मैं हूं आपका AI पंडित जी, depending on your name and what your concern is and what your date of birth is. Again, these are for specific markets. Markets which are not active in this scenario may not work. But an idea of how this works. This is actually going live for one of the brands. If you can just play the video. This is from an astrological standpoint, an example, not for the jewelry business per se.
नमस्ते आदित्य जी, मैं हूं पंडित योगी, आपका एआई पंडित और पर्सनल विंगमैन। आपने बताया कि आपका जन्म हुआ दिल्ली में 13 जून 1990 को करीब 1 बजे। उस समय आपकी कुंडली में सूर्य और मंगल एकदम एनर्जेटिक मोड में थे। इसका मतलब आप नेचुरली बोल्ड हैं और लीडरशिप में दम है। इस वक्त आपके ग्रहों का अलाइनमेंट कह रहा है कि काम और पैसा दोनों का बूस्ट पॉसिबल है, बस थोड़ा फोकस और पेशेंस चाहिए। और हां, आपके लव हाउस में वीनस की लाइट ऑन हो रही है, समझे? पर एक छुपा हुआ दोष भी है जो आपके काम में रुकावट ला सकता है। जानने के लिए क्लिक करें और ऐप डाउनलोड कीजिए। मैं आपका वहां इंतजार कर रहा हूं।
This is a hook video. This is made for Astro Yogi, so they will basically get you guys in. But imagine that if your avatar could actually have a hook like the closing of a suspense thriller, right? कि आप उसको क्या बोल रहे हो कि हमारी दुकान पे क्यों आओ या हमसे क्यों खरीदो? How do you train that is how the differentiation of video content changes. And this is an example of how hyper personalized marketing is done. That 7 data points, it has your kundli, it has everything else. It doesn't cost me more than 3-4 rupees to make this. I will sell it at maybe 5 rupees. But even for that much, the customer's attention span I got him scared. I got him also to understand कि आपके ग्रहों में गलत क्या है. Even if you don't believe, you will see the full video. And now basis this data, imagine every time I send you a next notification, no, you will click. आज वेडनेसडे का शुभ मुहूर्त इस दिन इस पॉइंट पे है या ये राहु का मुहूर्त है, whatever else. And if it works out and if you are somebody in that business, you'll actually fix an appointment with the Panditji. Now, think about it that if you have the history of the consumer, how do you hyper-personalize engagements on those lines? So, bringing investment and loyalties in this, whether you create a money bhai, whether you create a AI Upahar, Mela or whatever you want to call it, stick on AI in between. Do a little bit of AI in that so that it can be worked. And AI is not basically, see, true AI is a lot of data connected to some automation logic, connected to a reasoning model. What everybody basically call AI today is a logic engine. If this, then that. If not this, then do this. Technically, वो भी चलता है in today's market from the consumer standpoint. And I'm being very open about how packaging and selling works. क्योंकि आपको AI बनाने में 2027 हो जाएगा. So till then, use it effectively to where you can take this forward. So think about it, right? That for a consumer's journey, these are all the touch points you can essentially have, and what is the communication you can do for them. Humanly, it is not going to be possible for your marketing team to get all this information or decide what is the communication for them. But if you basically made your scripting agent or your design agent or your copy agent to get this insight, created a bot to scope data back from the customer and then connected it to your catalog and then gave it the power to basically chase down the customer on that specific date, that specific occasion, you will hit at least 3 out of 10 customers. See, the thing is, you should always use lifecycle management to uplift your automation, to reduce your time. You manage a store with 5 people or 10 people so that you can become free. Your AI should do the job of those 20 people so that you are still free, but it is automated and without human errors. Now, this is the intelligent workforce. The next person you hire in your store, factory, industry should not be a human. It should be an AI colleague. Who is the AI colleague? Instead of the person who handles your CRM, can you have an AI insights agent? Can you have a design agent? Can you have a communication agent? Or can you have a customer support agent? Because that agent will do the job at least 35% more precise, will cost, a typical agent's cost in the market today is about 1 lakh per year. So about 10,000 rupees a month is how much agents cost. That basically means you have to plug in your data sets and everything will start working. How much does your person cost? See, this is the reality of human race. Matlab, समटाइम्स वी फील कि वो आग क्यों जलाई उस इंसान ने, क्योंकि उसने आग जलाई, फिर पहिया बनाया, फिर फैक्ट्री बनाई, फिर इंजन बनाया, फिर टाइपराइटर बनाया, कंप्यूटर बनाया, इंटरनेट बनाया, फोन बनाया, अभी एआई बना दिया. By default, AI is designed to make humans lazy. But if you don't adopt, your competition will adopt. So you have to go with that scenario to see how you make your business better. And with that, you can scale into different things. So here, these agents, like we said in the beginning, the reasoning, the action, the planning, the orchestration, and the reflection. So one line when you write in an agent is, like how you tell humans, right, कि आज सुबह से क्या काम किया. You should tell the agent's bottom instruction at 8 p.m. or 11 p.m. in the night. Go back and reflect how many calls you handled, or how many engagements you did, how many customers you spoke to, and you decide what did you do wrong. It will be able to give an intelligent answer, unlike a human. आप किसी इंसान से बोलो आपने क्या गलत किया दिन में, सर मैंने क्या गलत किया, मेरे को नहीं समझ में आया. इस एजेंट को अपनी गलती मालूम हो जाएगी, मैंने आज ये सीखा, इसके बदले से मैं ये कर सकता हूं. सो दिस इज व्हाट रीजनिंग पावर इज. सो इफ यू सेट एन ऑटोमेशन लाइफ साइकिल, इट इज अ सेल्फ लर्निंग इकोसिस्टम. हाउ बेटर इट बिकम्स देन यू, आई डोंट नो एंड व्हेन, बट दैट इज द रियलिटी ऑफ टुडेज डे एंड एज. एंड सॉरी, एन इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज द मल्टी एजेंट कोलैबोरेशन. One of you wanted brand, one of you wanted scripting, one of you wanted sales, one of you wanted supply chain. The future is like how in a company 5 people work together. Agents have to work together. The communication or the marketing agent said, यार तुम्हारा creative नहीं चल रहा है क्योंकि customer click नहीं कर रहा है. That information has to go back to the creative agent to say कि the creatives you gave did not work. So the creative agent then has to ask the agent, it did not work for which type of product, which generation, or whom. And they should exchange data to say what went wrong. That will then go back into the orders कितने place हुए, किस creative और किस marketing template से ज़्यादा order आ रहे हैं, उसको repeat करो. Same way, right, that we do. You have to tell it your agent. So the future is when these multiple agents start working together. See, the new business will be one man or person or woman and 100 agents. Because if you know how to train each of these systems, they will all collaborate and work together in 2030. But that's the reality of 2030. By 2023, everybody asks, भाई AI क्या है? In 2024, everybody knows कि AI ये कर सकता है. In 25, you are saying, हम AI के साथ क्या कर सकते हैं? In 26, AI will tell you, ये हमने कर दिया है, you will copy paste what somebody else did. In 27, you will say कि इसमें 50% workforce हमारा AI है, 50% हमारा human है. By 28, you will essentially go down to, हम AI को use करते हैं, जैसे assembly line को आप monitor करते हो, right? करते नहीं हो. They are supervisors. And then by 2030, that supervisor will become like a black factory in China, which has no humans in it. The person who designs the system. 2030 का जर्नी करने के लिए आज स्टार्ट करना पड़ेगा. But वो होगा ही होगा. Because even if you don't want to, your phone is going to become a non-app device. Your phone screens will not have apps in it. It will only have a speaker and it will only have a mic. आप उसको बोलो ऑर्डर प्लेस करना है, करो. इफ सम ऑफ यू हैव नॉट ट्राइड, ट्राई स्विगी क्रू. फर्स्ट स्विगी ब्लैक मेंबर्स, दे हैव लॉन्च्ड दैट, राइट? एंड वन ऑफ दीज ऑल द जोमैटोज एंड द क्रेड्स, दे ऑल लॉन्च दिस न्यू थिंग्स. सो स्विगी क्रू इज बेसिकली योर एआई असिस्टेंट. आप उसको बोलोगे फुल लेके आके दो, वो अपने आप से ढूंढ निकाल के लेके आके दे देगा. इट इज कनेक्टेड टू योर पेमेंट इंजिन. द डे इंडिया सेज कि हम यूपीआई ऑटोमेट करना अलाउ करेंगे, आज इंडिया में यूपीआई ऑटोमेशन अलाउड नहीं है, वो ओटीपी के बिना नहीं चलेगा. बट टिल दैट ओटीपी इकोसिस्टम इज देयर, पेमेंट्स आर नॉट गोइंग टू बी पॉसिबल. बट द डे यू ऑथेंटिकेट, लाइक हाउ यू स्टोर योर डेबिट कार्ड in the ecosystem, or how you have a payment gateway stored or saved retailers or billers, the day that is given authority, or the day India brings out its own AI some level, right? Payments will also get automated per se. So the life cycle from interest to closure is made possible. And the way some of these are the creators, right? I want one of you asked for the brand creators per se, right? Typically, products are designed in such a way that you can load in anything you want in a specific unit of creative. So if you have your branding, your product, your CTA or the click to action button, your product image, your background, your subheading, your customizable compliances. If you're a large brand who has a brand tone and a brand language, you can get AI to train and create creatives basis that. An example of that would be one thing that we have taken live for ABFRL, Aditya Birla Fashion, and the W brand, right? What you will see right now is a 100% AI video.
Put the money in my hand right now. Set up a motor, we need more seats. We just sold out all the floor seats.
Take me on a trip, I'd like to go someday. Take me to New York, I'd love to see LA. I really want to come pick you with you. You'll be my American boy.
This was made from the New York Fashion Week collection. We got the SKUs from the brand. We trained it on AI. If you noticed, the way the entire fall of the dress was there, the color, the texture, is all 100% replicatable. An example for this in the jewelry industry will look like this.
A single radiant diamond, timeless and purely exquisite. Grace shines in every movement, brilliance sparkles in every glance. More than just jewelry, it's a bold statement of forever. Indulge deeply in timeless elegance and beauty.
That's a 100% AI video. We didn't shoot with Tamanna. It was just a picture that was taken and a product that was taken. Product catalogs, when you give us, it can be converted into 100% statics or video sets that you wanted to. A second video, let's say if this is your whatever product, it's a platinum necklace here at this point of time, right? The idea is, you all remember the virtual try-on we said? If you get that customer's information, you can basically recreate that product on the customer to target him or her back if you're in the consumer business. And depending on who you're at home or anyone else that you want to use as a model, if you want to, you can basically get it set up on them. So this can be basically set up for every SKU that you essentially have, so that the AI product catalog creation, dissemination is made possible.
True elegance is quiet. It doesn't fade. It doesn't follow trends. It doesn't tarnish. It endures. Rare, pure, unmistakable. Jewelry that speaks of strength and grace. Make it timeless. Make it platinum.
For every customer, you can take the customer's name. Like how you saw the Astro Yogi video, right? Think about it to say कि सोनिया जी, आपकी शादी जो जुलाई में गोवा में हो रही है और आपका जो ब्लू एंड पेस्टल पिंक लहंगा है, उसके लिए ये वाला नेक पीस आपके लिए परफेक्टली सूट करेगा, आपके लिए बनाया ही गया है, एंड वॉट एवर एल्स यू वांट टू ऐड इनटू इट. At least your hook is bought in at a level that it can completely change. And this, you can recreate it on your website if you wanted to, if you are even putting out your catalogs per se, in the language that you want to. So this is the level that AI has gone, that shoots are maybe done once and then can be basically replicated for multiple ecosystems. And you have to decide on how, so half the content you will start seeing on your Instagrams and etc. will all be AI generated. So this is the reality of the life cycles. I will not push this further, but in case you want to connect with me to understand how to take the first agent on, you can scan that and it will basically give us a high in. It's working for all of you or some of you? Any questions? Happy to. Yeah.
Hello. And I'm into digital marketing. We have been exploring AI since like a year for content curation, like content writing, graphics, storyboarding, the content part of it.
Correct.
You touched upon two topics. One is remarketing, and I have two questions.
Sure.
One is remarketing for B2B. Can you share some light on that? Because from personal experience, I think so. Remarketing for B2B for India and international is quite personal. Like personalization plays really big role here.
Correct.
Since it's all high ticket. So that is one question. And the other one is you showed a product ad.
Yeah.
How did you capture the faceting of the diamond? Because when we try to recreate the same thing, the product is a big miss.
Correct.
That's the question.
So the first part, I don't know if you attended the first part of the session. You have to create customer life cycles to decide how do you target. You target 3 times, 4 times, 5 times in B2B, right? In that B2B, when you're retargeting, the first hook that you're basically going back to them with. The hook is actually, or the golden rule in marketing is never talk product. आप बेसिकली बोलो कि मुंबई की बारिशों के साथ तो दिमाग खराब हो गया है, लेकिन हमारा जो ज्वेलरी का कैटलॉग है आपको बेसिकली whatever कर देगा. Now along with that, depending on who the customer is, now this मुंबई की बारिश से पहले you will add the customer's name and then you will essentially add couple of other insights about him. In fact, if you in the business of jewelry, you literally know the family, right? You will actually start के sir भाभी जी कैसी हैं? You'll actually start with something like that if you really want to get into that level of personalization and if it's your P1 account. If it's your P2 account, you will basically go into elements of, if you don't know the customer, you will talk about, I know that the next 5 seconds may not matter to you, but do you wish to regret or do you wish to continue? So these are, it's language, bhasha se hi badalta hai. Second is for the customer, now the image that you saw, see, what are the mediums of communication? Image, video, reels, and if you have GIFs, maybe if you want to use that. There is no other way. There's audio. It can be bought in. Now, if you're remarketing, the human psychology is कि आपने कुछ color देखा तो आप click करोगे. अगर उसमें वीडियो है तो आप प्ले करके देखना चाहोगे कि क्या है. अगर उस वीडियो और इमेज के अंदर आपने बेसिकली नाम लिया कस्टमर का तो उसका अटेंशन क्लिक होता है. See, it's like, sorry for using example, like dogs, right? आप उसका नाम लेते हो वो stick होता है. The human dopamine is also like that only. So that gets attention and then you follow through. So you have 30% of attention by then and then you follow through the structure. Touch point 2, touch point 3 essentially is depending on how you want to take them forward. Like if I had to sell a car to you, I would essentially say 40 के हो गए हो, अब नहीं तो कब? I will hit your psychology. I will not try to talk product. Now to the next point that you said, right? AI product recreation, no LLM will do. Adobe, Microsoft, Google, Perplexity, DeepSeek, all of them are AI engines who are designed to give you answers. Or you can put an input in on a VO3 in Google and it will give you a video back. The way AI works is if you want to replicate exact dimensions, colors, structures, proportions, you have to create an AI model of the product, like a CAD model. The tool that we have is proprietary that essentially, if you load in 7 images of the product or 8 images, it will recreate the product in a 3D environment. Then it will ask you to show a replication of how it is done. So AI doesn't understand. So it will ask you, आप बताओ कि आपके typical images कैसे दिखते हैं. So you will give it like 30 images, 20 images as references. If you try OpenAI, how do you say? इस creative की तरह कुछ बना के दो. So it knows what is its reference point. So it will know कि body proportion कैसा है, placement कैसा है, किस type के outfit पे बैठता है. Third, if you're doing a product content, do not change the outfit, just change the face of the customer if you are doing a face swap or if you're doing a replication model per se. And the fourth in that case is, of course, there is the tonality of how you are speaking. So the content, the visual and the sound, these three work together to recreate a video unit. Or a static unit also has a text. So typically you may have a brand language that you are using, right? So the brand language is loaded. So how much of the area, 20% of the area is only headline. Only the CTA is X, CTA is red color, CTA is button, button has rounded edges, etc. is what you can train the AI to do. And then you can also tell it, if this does not work, try a different mix. Keep trying till you get a click. So AI will keep refreshing the AI to the static image till it can reach the click rate that you're looking at. I hope I answered your question.
Hi, Mr. Soni, here.
Yeah.
This side.
Sure.
Vishwas from Bangalore. So we're basically a B2C firm. It's called Madhuri Gold.
Sure.
So my question was, you have so many data sets, and you're already designing so many different models. Now there are several designs that kind of, may be replicated. Is there a model within the AI systems where you can ensure that the design or model or whatever has not been, copyright issues, or is there any regulation, any such model that's in place? Because an ad run in Delhi could also be run in Bangalore, a similar design. Now I'm not sure, right? For any other, for example, write a book, whatever, we have copyrights. We can check. But within this model, how do I know this has not been done before? That is a question.
The design that you created, basically.
Design that you created, or what if this has been done or not? Because I don't have a Google AI, right?
Correct.
I go to Google and say X design or X brand, right? It's already been done.
Actually, it's a very simple answer. The prompt you write, no, just tell the agent to say, go to every jewelry website you can find in India and scroll through GJPC's entire exhibitor list and their catalogs and check if this design I have given you is created.
Okay, provided the catalogs are online.
Whatever is available, right?
Available.
Obviously, anything which is digitally available on an asset unit on the World Wide Web,
Okay.
and hopefully India is still not a level where you have put firewalls on the content. It'll check and come back and give it to you.
All right. Thanks.
Mr. Soni, thank you for this session. So I had digital marketing for GI India. My question to you is pertaining to personifying, kind of an audience. We do a marketing, so we have a X budget, and we concentrate on CPC, paid campaigns. So if we, let's say we take your profile, I've been to your profile, and I put your LinkedIn, Instagram, Meta, whatever links, put it on AI, and say, this is my customer. Could you hunt this same profile for me and find out a customer? So will the AI will help me to do that and target that right audience for it? And using the chatbot, of course.
Source
Thank
of data in this case?
For us is SFDC, Salesforce.
No. Where would you find this customer? Like,
We have a target B2B and education, both labs and...
see, by default, if you're running ad engines, both Meta's and Google's ad engines are optimized. So, in fact, the way you'll program this unit will be, what do you want to do? Sale, consideration, awareness? What is your goal?
Sale is the last part, awareness, consideration, and the final part, of course, sales is involved.
Awareness is your first optimized thing, right? So
True.
basically what will happen is, on the Meta ad unit, when you program the Meta ad, you will create optimization for awareness, followed by second prioritization for consideration, and the third for optimization. You will connect this to a WhatsApp and an Instagram DM chase engine that is connected to a click-to-message Google engine, it's called. So what this means is when your ad comes up, one, it will be only shown to people who in their Chrome profile or in their Insta profile have updated. So you update male, female, and basis the patterns you click on. Insta and Google both have your profiles by itself. That is why those engines work. So one is, that is a very basic ecosystem that you'll essentially do. Second, that will basically get you the targeting you're looking at, right? If you're compulsorily going into focused retargeting, then you'll have to give similar lookalike profiles. Person looking at an SUV ad which is like, let's say, the Land Rover or the whatever profiles you want, show him a platinum ring with a diamond studded in it as an ad unit. So you will have to create such similarities to say which kind of customer who does what all will typically buy your product. And if he's searching for a flight to, for discussion's sake, Istanbul or somewhere else, right, who is X, then show him intricate designs of X, Y, and Z. To a woman who's shopping on, not on, let's say, Nika, but on a Lancome, show her the design profile that you have. So then you'll have to do brand lookalikes. And then you have to do the lookalikes for each of the 4 profiles that you think that customer is going to essentially buy. Now on this, the AI kicks in, very frankly, not at the ad engine level. Meta has not yet allowed ad hyper personalization. It cannot fetch the custom image for you. Jio Hotstar can do right now because it says I don't care where the input is, it will show it. But there are limited data sets on that, which means that ad, so if you're basically scrolling Swiggy and you're looking at biryani and you're watching a match on Jio, if your Swiggy profile has your name, your in between the ad, in between your match, the ad will say, sorry, what's your good name?
It's Pranil Kadam.
It'll say, Pranil, आपकी बिरयानी आपका wait कर रही है with one biryani which is basically heated up, and if you're looking at chicken biryani or veg biryani, it'll actually show that biryani with the steam coming out. So that's the level of hyperpollution possible. Currently, Meta does this. Now at the second stage, after you've taken this insight, your input that you will show to him is to say, the man, for example, I know you prefer perfection. To you, you are understated yet poised. You deserve a platinum. So you will change the tonality to you deserve versus anything else. So that scripting is where the AI is only going to come, and maybe the platinum ring with the customer's name, if you have the name, can be set up. I hope I answered the question.
Yes, thank you.
Hi, Mr. Soni. I'm in the retail business. So one thing that at least I've noticed from some customers is they have all of these requirements, right? And the current process in jewelry design is you take those requirements to a designer, a sketch is made, sketch is then made into a CAD, and you send that CAD model to the customer for approval. That's a 3 to 4 day process. So ideally, that's where AI can really help. You know, you put in those requirements, the AI can generate a model for you that you can easily send to the customer. But in my experience, all the LLMs that I've used, they're very generalized. So they're not able to create realistic designs, or they get some of the specifications wrong because they don't really understand the jewelry language. So is there any way around that, or do you just need like a very specialized model?
No, the answer is very simple. Like I said, it's like if I tell one of you, जाके jewelry लेके आ जाओ, या जाके get me a design, it'll go all across the room and come back. LLMs are trained on the whole World Wide Web. You'll have to tell AI, these are the kind of designs I like. This is my inspiration. My customer is of this profile. And typically, these are the kind of looks that will work for him. It's like saying think about AI as a child. आप उसको जितना सिखाओगे, उतने का जवाब वो देगा. जितना ज़्यादा सिखाओगे, उतना better देगा. ज़्यादा और सिखा दोगे, तो ज़्यादा सवाल पूछेगा. So you restrict it from that specific standpoint. So I hope this was useful for all of you. Thank you so much for your time. It's always a pleasure to be here and share some gyan with all of you what we do in the AI world. All the best towards building that first AI agent. Please go and write down, do that homework, create your AI template, and then load it into whatever platform you want, and it will work wonders. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mukesh Soni, for your information presentation. Your insights and expertise made an insignificant impact, and we are grateful for your valuable contribution. Thank you so much.